One of my favorite effects in Ableton is Redux, but I don't actually like the Redux util at all. It's not really full featured enough. I'm sure that it is doing bit crushing and sample rate reduction, but to me, I want it to sound a little bit different than what it does most of the time. So here's the rack that I usually use. First of all, we'll find Redux. Okay, and Redux by itself sounds like this. Here's my little ARP, but without Redux to start with. Okay, and then I'll bring Redux on and I'll just bring the hard downsampling on. Okay, I like that, but on most synthesizers that I've used before, the bit crushing doesn't really feel that extreme. It feels like they've used a 50% wet, 50% dry, so you get those lovely bit crushed overtones, but you don't get the total destruction of your signal. So let's do that. We'll rack it, and we've got a chain with Redux, and we'll create a new chain. We'll call it dry. And we'll have some sort of a blend between those. So you can use the chain tools here. We'll map that to macro 1. And so we've got Redux on everything except that first step. And we fade it in over the first little bit of its existence. And we fade out the dry chain over time. Yep, so we can hide the chains there. We're also going to map the downsample button to our first macro. The downsampling goes pretty extreme, so if we listen to that now, so for me that downsampling is just a bit too extreme, so we'll back it off a bit, maybe 80. Okay, that's still very extreme, but you want the extremes available. You don't have to hit them all the time. So cool, I like that. I actually think the chain can fade in a little bit faster. The other thing I wish that Redux had was some sort of a phasing effect, because I always want to bring out those high elements and make them even stranger and more unusual. So I'm going to use a frequency shifter to accomplish what I want. And we're just going to knock it off fine-tuning a tiny bit and bring the wet dry down. We could even use the wide button, although it might be too extreme. Cool. And you can hear how the original sound is preserved, and you still get to hear all of that lovely bit crushing. That's one of the reasons that I really like Redux, and the other reason that I don't really like Redux is that it could have a couple of extra settings which would let you do more intricate stuff. Luckily, Racks let us do that anyway. So as with all ARPs, the best thing to do there is drown it in reverb and play around with the macro we've just made.